Welcome everyone to today's webinar of Trading with the Netherlands. My name is Michaela Slimakova and I work for Sario as a consultant of the Foreign Trade Department. And I would like to introduce our today's speaker. And the first speaker is Natalia Barinkova, Deputy Director of the Foreign Trade Department here in Sario. Denisa Kasova, Honorary Consul of the Slovak Republic in the Netherlands, an entrepreneur with 20 years of experience in the Netherlands, Director of the Economic and Innovation Board of Northern Netherlands, and a member of the several supervisory boards. Jan-Pieter Amze, Business Support Advisor in the Dutch Chamber of Commerce and the contact person for the European Enterprise Network. And the last is Vlado Kisutsky, Professor of the Finance at Audiencia Business School in Nantes in France, and Shenzhen Audiencia Business School partner and AX Capital Market founder and the Silent Reef platform. Welcome everyone. And as a first, I would like to speak about the technical information for our attendees. If you would like to pose a question, you have the possibility to do it via the Q&A, and our speakers will reply during the webinar. We will start with the opening speeches and the presentations of our speakers, and after we will follow with the Q&A section. So Natalia, the floor is yours. You can open the webinar.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Distinguished guests, dear ladies and gentlemen. I would like to warmly welcome you at today's webinar. Thank you, Mishka, for organizing this event. Thank you also for our speakers that they found the time to present their knowledge, their information, and everything they know about the market in Netherlands. As you know, Netherlands is one of the most important partners of Slovakia regarding trading, but as well as investing. And the new pandemic situation brought up new opportunities for you, for Slovak companies, but also some obstacles that you may find out. So today's speakers will speak about the new opportunities that you may find on the market, but also how to overcome the obstacles that you may face in these days. So my presentation or my speech is very short. I would like to give time to you, time to the speakers, and I would like to wish you a nice time spent with our speakers. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Natalia. And please, Ms. Kasova, it's your time for your presentation.
So good morning, everyone, from very sunny and warm Groningen, where I am situated. I understood that it's also very sunny and warm in Slovakia at this moment, so it's the same for both of us. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, Michaela and Natalia, Sario company, to introduce you, to provide you with some information about the Netherlands, about the major themes, challenges, and transitions we are dealing here with. I would like to share my presentation now. And I hope you can see it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So as I already mentioned, I would like to give you some brief overview. We got 10 minutes and I hope I will manage. And if not, please, Michaela, feel free just to disturb me and say, Denisa, press forward or just stop. So I will proceed. My introduction is beginning with myself. My name is Denisa Kasova. It was in 1997 when I came to the Netherlands, to Groningen, and I still live here and work here. So in 2017, I was appointed honorary consul, and I'm very honored that this happened. And I hope I am a kind of assistance of our embassy in The Hague and the Slovak people and the Slovak companies. My daily work is I'm involved with many challenges we are dealing with in the NATO Netherlands. I will speak about it a little bit later as director of the Economic Board of the NATO Netherlands. And next to this, I have few supervisory roles in the region of NATO Netherlands. So a little bit of preview of the entire Netherlands. As you know, it's quite small country, 17 million inhabitants, and it's a most densely populated country. It's most competitive export-oriented economy. You might heard 4th largest exporter and 7th largest importer in the world of the goods, but also the 2nd largest food exporter of the world. It is an important business partner of Slovakia. When you can see that in the Netherlands invest in financial services, technology, the food industry, and many other things, transport equipment, import machinery, telecommunication. Concerning the Dutch economy, the innovation, digitalization, and sustainability is the key. The main sectors are high-tech, energy, logistics, agri-food, water management, life sciences, chemical industry, horticulture, and you probably know that the infrastructure is really of a very high level, the physical, but also the digital one. And what is quite specific of the Netherlands, of the Dutch cooperation, is the quadruple helix approach, where business, government, scientific educations, and people work together. So some small words about business practices. The Dutch are very pragmatic, open and direct. Mostly 100% of people speak English and a high percentage of German language. We are less formal, I would say. You can find horizontal matrix structure in companies, in organization, a lot of freedom and responsibility that is being placed to law in the organization at all levels. We say, you are the owner of this task and please do it at your utmost responsibility and best. And then we coach you, and you have really direct feedback here, but less formal also concerning the clothing. And you can see that this is a funny something. Our Prime Minister right and Minister of the Health left. They are just going to their weekly meeting. I hope they can excuse me for this. And what is also very typical is that Dutch strive for consensus. Everyone must agree while making important decisions. Individualistic perception of the world, workplace relationships are open, but little bit less warm than in Slovakia. The Dutch are really ecological minded, not only individuals, but companies, organizations, and a really high percentage of corporate social responsibility, meaning you take care for people who are in a different state, for poor families. There are a lot of charities how to help families with children to go to cinemas, to go everywhere. So people with unemployment, but even social benefit. So this is really something typical for Dutch. A lot of voluntary workers next to your paid job. It's like you will see it, you will love it. So now I promised you to introduce you into top Dutch region. It's actually the northern part of the Netherlands where I live. And this is the website. You can actually look at it, and I will provide you with this presentation. I will provide Sario, so you could also see some links you will find in this presentation. So obviously our global economy is in large-scale transformation. And also in the northern part of the Netherlands, we develop the economy towards green, digital, and sustainable, where talent is the key. We produced regional innovation strategy, upon which many companies, organizations, I would say all of them, alliances, are now preparing their policies and executing their plans. These are the key industries in not only the northern parts of the Netherlands, agriculture and food. It's the food transition towards healthy food systems, the transition in the chemistry, green chemistry, water technology, and you can see all of them here. I will have to change something on my presentation. Digital innovation, life sciences, obviously the energy climate transition, and also the logistics. So here, I already mentioned this cooperation style. Many companies, government and institutions are working together, and we call it, can you hear me actually?
Yes.
Hello? Okay,
Yes,
because
it's
my
working.
presentation is not going further. That's okay now, yes. So we call it ecosystems, these cooperations. And here I just give you a very small selection of all kinds of ecosystems. And obviously Camper Europe is about dealing with the chemistry, green chemistry transition. New Energy Coalition is representing interests of all energy kind of companies, large, small, SMEs, government, Healthy Aging Netherlands networks. It's we've been appointed by the European Commission to be the place where we develop research and like inhabitants research, what is actually health and healthy aging. Water campus, about water technology companies, dairy campus, association Circular Friesland. So we have many companies that they were asking question, how and where do I begin with circular economy? And it is something that we divided in two types of cycles, the technical and the biological cycle, and also the change of behavior of all of us. Many institutions claim to be as circular in 2025. And technically that means 100% fossil free and 100% waste free. And the dream of all companies, but even educational institutions and government, is that we build like green ambassadors. In 2025, all our students, employees, and everyone is a green ambassador. So then we have this Northern Digital Smart Industry Hub for the companies that are in the making industry and Hive Mobility. It's about the transition of all kind of mobility, vehicles, boats, ferries, airplanes, cars towards green mobility. 5G Groningen, I don't have to mention that. Artificial Intelligence Coalition, it's the national coalition, and you see that the national coalition is being split in regional coalitions. And the last one, what I wanted to present you, is the Northern Lifelong Learning Coalition. At all stages, at all ages, we need to develop new skills, and we need to develop mindset that even if you are 50, 60, you can still really learn a lot. And we organize like this. I already mentioned that. And this is also important in order to get financing, in order to get coordinating policies and public acceptance. So if you want to go green and build these windmills or solar panels, maybe there are people that they disagree with this. They don't want that in their horizon. So all these discussions, we pay a lot of attention in the beginning of these transitions. So this energy transition ambitions of the Netherlands to become the hydrogen capital and the first hydrogen valley of Europe, circular economy to be the most circular European region in 2025, and of course change the nature of the chemistry. But why we strive for this hydrogen, green hydrogen capital of Europe? Because in 1959, there was discovered a largest natural gas reserve field, actually next to the city of Groningen, where I live. And it brought the prosperity and the well-being to all Dutch, to the Netherlands. And we, of course, are aiming towards Paris Agreement, but there is something more. And that is that we need to keep our economies strong, and even we want to strengthen the economy. So this gas infrastructure, what you actually see on this picture, is much, or I would say it's easily to be transformed into the infrastructure for other gases like hydrogen gas and other green gases. And we developed actually a very interesting investment agenda. It's 33 projects and investment amount 2.8 billion euro. So that's quite general what I said, but here I want to present you some specific project. A very small company, like 30 people, they were working on retrofitting the gas municipality cars, vehicles, sweeping car or garbage car, and they actually diesel motor transformed into fuel cell of hydrogen. And that was in 2017. I had the privilege to be a part of this initiating team. I worked together with Professor Ad van Wijk of the Future Sustainable Systems, University of Delft, on this agenda. And the Netherlands has started with this green hydrogen economic agenda. Right down, you see the picture of Ecolution. It's a boat of our first astronaut, Bobo Okkels, and this boat is also now totally green and totally powered by hydrogen, I would say. And also you can see the train, but that train is from Alstom, and that's the German company. But already in the northern parts, we have trains running, how do you say, running by hydrogen. So, and another theme, agriculture and food transition. The direct capital of Europe is situated in Friesland province. You see that many transitions and many projects are concentrating from agriculture through fooding, through health. And this is just a selection of the themes we are working on. And very interesting one is towards a protein diet. So we should eat less of meat and more proteins and more nutrition. We are at this moment dealing with establishment of agri-food health board, something who is showing the direction to all individual companies, but also coalitions. So finally, I would just like to summarize. I wanted to give you a really brief introduction in the challenges, in the transitions, in the way how we organize these major challenges and how we execute them. And we are very ambitious in this to go further. And please, if you have any questions specific on certain topic, you can always contact me. These are my, this is actually my website as a consul, consulateslovakia.nl, and I would be happy to help and be of any assistance. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kasova, for your presentation. It was really interesting to know much more about the Netherlands as such. And I would like to invite Jan Bieder Amse for his presentation.
Yes, good morning everyone. Thanks for inviting me to tell something about the Dutch Chamber of Commerce where I work. I will start my presentation. Yeah, where is it? By the beginning. Yes, Chamber of Commerce in Holland. Since the last 7 years, we have been in transition, reorganization. We had about 70 offices a couple of years ago. Now there's only about 20 nationwide. Myself, I work in Amsterdam normally. Since last year, I work from home. We have 12 head offices. The Dutch Chamber of Commerce has 2 legal tasks in Holland. First, we have the trade register. Every company in Holland needs to register with us by law. That's one of the legal tasks we have. The other one is export documents. We provide for all international shipments, export transactions, we provide the certificates of origin and documents like that. At the moment, we have about 2.5 million companies registered with us. About little over half of them are the so-called sole proprietors, one-man businesses. So that's quite a lot. A lot of people started their own business to work independently for themselves. That trend started years ago already and only has become stronger the last years. So that number is growing. We are in transition to become a digital organization, meaning that companies can talk to us by calling us, emailing, chatting, the socials. We used to have a lot of physical meetings, trade events, that all is becoming digital. And especially last year in the Corona time, it proved that it works quite well to do it like that. We use a business panel because we listen to what the market wants from us. So we have a business panel of about 7,000 companies who gives us feedback what their needs are. And that we translate into new services. We are focusing on 5 different teams. That's internationalization, financing, innovation, and starting your business. Normally we get a little over 1 million questions a year from companies or the so-called pre-starters, people who wants to start a business. They call us first. And last year with the Corona time, we were the central contact point for the Dutch government for all the Corona measures the Dutch government took for companies. Financial help programs which were developed. So especially last year, it has been extremely busy with questions like that. Besides that, we were also the central contact point for Brexit. That has been closed a couple of weeks ago. Of course, there were a lot of questions and issues regarding the Brexit, a lot of changes for companies dealing with the UK. Holland is a trading nation, so also with the UK, it's a very important trade partner, and there have been a lot of changes. So also for that, we were the central contact point. What I said already, we are the resources for business. We have a trade register, but we are also using big data to enrich the information. We develop programs for companies wanting to start a business in a city that we can help them find a good location in the city. In the sense we can give information, okay, these are the competitors in that specific area, so they can choose the right location to start their business. Just an example. I am an international business advisor, so my work is only international related. We get a lot of questions on import, export, how to start importing, exporting, what are the product requirements when you import or export to a certain country. How much is it going to cost in the sense of possible import duties? How do I find a good business partner internationally? And that can be anything. That can be I'm looking for an agent, or I'm looking for a distributor, or I'm looking for a manufacturer of something. We can all help with that. Of course, we have a lot of partners like the Dutch business agency, the RVO in Holland. We work closely with. These were questions, also very, very interesting. Well, yeah, what possibilities are there in foreign markets? And that can be worldwide. How to reach them. Chamber of Commerce is taking part of the Enterprise Europe Network, and together with Sario last year we had a meeting for the Enterprise Europe Network, a matchmaking event with Slovak business partners and the Dutch partners. The Enterprise Europe Network I'm working for too, and that is a European program. I have a slide about it, I think. Yeah. It's a European program for finding a business partner, and it's also closely related to finding an innovation business partner, for example. It's a European database where a company can put a profile and also indicate then what they are looking for. It can be either production partner or just a trade partner. In Slovakia, there's also Enterprise Europe Network office, and that is the Slovak business agency, is the Enterprise Europe Network business partner. Like I said, we have 5 teams we work for. Most questions is about starting your own business. Also for foreign companies wanting to start a branch office in Holland. We can provide all information what the options are, how to do that, how to find financing. We get a lot of questions from innovation, how that process works, how to protect an idea, things like that. Also finding partners in that. It's closely to 100,000 questions we get spread out over these 5 teams. Yeah, you can contact us by call, online. We have a chat service, and the face visits are getting less. They will not completely disappear, but will become less. Another program we have is the Business Challenge, and that is a platform. It's an innovation platform where a corporate company can put out an innovation challenge. And where they are looking then for small, medium enterprises to react on that, to help them to get this challenge done. We have about 10 challenges a year, with each 5-6 companies, corporate companies, pitching their idea or challenge, and companies can react on that. And in the end, the corporate will make a selection of 5-6 parties, and then they will meet live, or at this moment via Teams online. And then the corporate can make a selection with which parties they can continue to develop the innovation challenge. It's a very successful program, and very popular. It's a very nice way of finding business partners for bigger companies. What we also have, but due to Corona, it has come to a stop temporarily. That's the Entrepreneurs Plaza. That's a physical plaza in 5 offices, one-stop shop, where different parties will be present. It's the National Tax Office, the enterprise agencies, the road mobility agencies. So different parties where people can come and arrange everything they may need when starting up a business. Hopefully this will start up again soon. You see in Holland now the Corona measures are getting less and less. So hopefully we can start picking that up again soon. We also work with other chambers in Europe. of course, how to develop, talk a lot to other chambers, developing new strategies, how to improve digital services, and learning from each other, of course. And I talked about the Enterprise Europe Network already. My contact details are here. The presentation can be shared with you. So you can always contact me directly by phone or by email if you have any questions on starting up a business or any other issue. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Jan-Peter. So we will send both presentation to our attendees. So if you will have any question, you will have a contact list there. Yeah. Mr. Pisutsky, it's your time. You can start with your presentation.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you a couple of thoughts on the opportunities in doing business in the Netherlands. So a little bit about myself. I have been active in financial industry for the past 20 years. And together with my colleagues, we have been specialized in building financial infrastructure and implementing financial innovations in practice. And we have basically followed a pretty simple formula over the years. We take new technologies, better governments, better practices, and we take it to a little bit old-fashioned segments of the industry in order to create greater access, efficiency, and better value for the market participants. And we have been operating worldwide in different markets in the US, Europe, and Asia. Asian markets has been particularly interesting in the last decade. It has been a growth market. We had a lot of success in developing the channels for trading between Europe and Asia. And now, speaking of Europe, I just want to share a couple of thoughts. You know, when we put European economies in perspective, frequently from the perspective of the US or Asian markets, the narrative has been pretty much focused on the dynamics of, you know, US and Europe, and Europe is somehow you know, I would say almost overlooked. Many times people say, oh, European economies and people, these are the comfortable ones, not so ambitious ones. You know, everybody's talking about the future dynamics between US and Asia. But I would like to just highlight a couple of things. It turns out that Europe at one point briefly was actually the largest economy in the world, accounting for EEA. It's not the case anymore. But when we look at the opportunities within Europe and European opportunities relative to the rest of the world, it turns out that there are many opportunities that we can develop within the European economies and also for the rest of the world. And something which I believe are the two key drivers of these opportunities are the growth option in Central European markets and creating better market infrastructure, better trading infrastructure, better ways to actually execute the trade and investment projects. And sometimes I meet certain opinions about, you know, Central European economies in the Netherlands or Western economies. And I have a feeling, and again, it's just an opinion, that Central European markets may be somehow overlooked. It's just my opinion, but I feel that they may be a little bit overlooked. But it turns out that these markets are actually very significant, very large, and offering a lot of opportunities for mutual collaboration and trade. So just some ideas, some metrics to point out. In terms of investment performance, it actually turns out that economies in Central Europe are providing twice as large return on a risk-adjusted basis, outperform in terms of the growth, real growth, but also in terms of the value for the investment. And overall, the message here is that we need to facilitate greater exchanges between Slovakia and other Central European countries and the Netherlands or Benelux countries, because it's profitable, it's a good business. So as a result, you know, we are thinking, what are the bottlenecks in order to facilitate greater access to markets, more investments? It's on a risk-adjusted basis, it is a great deal. So how can we actually facilitate this and make it better? So I would like to present to you a market infrastructure that we have actually developed specifically for this purpose, to open doors, open access to markets for private companies that are trading companies, growth-oriented companies, and those that seek expansion of their business, trade, and investments. And our initiative, the first initiative that I would like to introduce to you, is Amsterdam Trade Board. So this is a self-governed, organized venue where we bring together the participants from the private markets, trading markets, from the trading companies, advisors, investors, and we basically standardize, we bring in practice the best practices and know-how when it comes to governance, transparency, disclosure, risk management, and all aspects related to efficient execution of trade and investment transactions. And to give you a little bit of a detail, this is this listing venue does not conduct any regulated activity, does not conduct any financial activity, but it creates the standards and the corporate governance that is conducive for executing these transactions. The history of Amsterdam Trade Board is actually it originated by observing the fact that there was a lot of fragmentation within Europe in terms of the standardization of trade, deal, processing, investments, and so on. And we started collaborating. We basically operated as one of the advisors, and we started to collaborate with a number of advisors, and we agreed on certain standards of what is the best way and the most efficient way of actually conduct the advisory work and the execution work. And it turns out that we can create a lot of positive outcomes. Well, first of all, we can create the market presence for the companies that would like to be listed on our board, to get direct channels for the trading partners, the trade deals, customers, investors, for raising capital, and to be continuously present and visible in the market in the Netherlands. The cornerstones of the market design is centered around the transparency, governance, and risk management. So just to sum up the benefits of listing on Amsterdam Trade Board. At the end of the day, every company that wants to expand to new markets, that would like to create new customers, new investors, needs to create or establish reputation and goodwill. And this is frequently the case that new companies that would like to enter the market all of a sudden, expect that they will be trusted and that it's going to be easy to do trading. But at the end of the day, any transaction, investment or trade transaction is pretty much a relationship business. And the question is how we can actually establish the environment of trust so that we don't have to implement all kinds of risk management methods in order to be able to trust each other. And this is especially the case for smaller companies, when it's much harder for smaller companies to establish their reputation, their presence, and to establish the quality of their products or service. And by being part of a well-governed market mechanism, it becomes easier to actually develop the markets and use the listing, visibility, and reputational building as a strategic tool to create relationships and new opportunities. The other initiative that I would like to introduce to you is Reef Impact Investment Platform. This is an investment platform that we developed specifically for 100% focus on impact and sustainability. We are seeing very, very important transition in the financial markets, and very important transition in the economy towards greater sustainability and greater impact. And the good news is that there is a wide-ranging consensus that this is a very, very important step towards our future economies. But we also recognize that there are some very significant financing constraints and investment constraints to be actually able to make investments, to channel the money for those assets and investments that genuinely pursue sustainable and impact-oriented strategies. And this is why we created Reef. It's focused on automated investment management, portfolio construction that is consisting of various investment teams aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And the system automatically generates the portfolio, personal and financial advice that is in line with the individual preferences of the investors. It is implemented as a digital platform. Basically, the backbone is a robotic advisory, automated portfolio construction, optimization, and it is focusing on the European assets, and we would like to create new channels that will direct new investments into privately held companies, smaller companies, and facilitate financing in the sustainable segment for SMEs. So this is all from me at this point. I appreciate the opportunity and I look forward to any questions from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kisutsky, for your presentation and also for all the presentation we have. And now we can switch to the Q&A section where we have, oh yeah, that's there. Okay, so we can start with the first question. Is the sheep and goat cheese popular in the Netherlands? And I would like to ask Ms. Kasova to reply, and Mr. Kisutsky, you can add her.
Yes, thank you, Michaela. I was a little bit laughing about this question, not in a negative way. I can't find the right equivalent because, of course, the Netherlands is a cheese country, and sheep and goat cheese are also very popular. And it is actually like 20 kilo per inhabitant of the Netherlands. That's the number of how much Dutch love cheese. In comparison, in France, it is like 26 kilogram. When you look closely to sheep and cheese and goat cheeses, then there is some demand for exclusive special kind of cheese, and the Dutch, they import really a lot of specific cheese. So I was looking closer because this question is like, is it popular? I would say yes, point. But what are the companies that could help you? Then I found like company Jan Dupont, D-U-P-O-N, which is like coordinating import of cheeses. And there was also possibility to import through wholesale companies like Hanos, Makro. I think in Slovakia we also have Makro, Slichro, and kind of those companies. But I'm not sure if this also includes the demanded answer. So maybe Vlado could join me in this.
Yes, so just to share with you my opinion, I may be wrong, and maybe we have an expert in the industry, but what is my observation is that I do see a potential for this type of a product, and what I'm observing in the Netherlands is that companies that are interested in exporting various food products to the Netherlands are benefiting greatly from the certification for various certifications that are known in the Netherlands for different types of products. So I don't know what specifically would apply for the cheese, but I was looking at various types of soft commodities, and that was really what opened doors to the market. So they were third-party certification entities that looked at various aspects of the production and so on. The other aspect that I think may be important is actually the communication, obviously, marketing and the storytelling about the product. And when I saw this question, I got really excited because I do think that Slovakia has a really good story to tell about sheep and goat cheese. And I think that people do react to these stories, and it can be something that we can push forward. So that's just my 5 cents on this.
Yeah, in addition, really the cheese with a story, that is something what is very important next to the traceability and all kind of ingredients. And yeah, very good, Vlado. Cheese with a story.
Thank you very much. So we can move to the next question. Is there any potential to export exclusive sheep and goat cheese to the Netherlands from Slovakia? And I would like to ask Mr. Amze to reply. Oh, Jan Peter, I can't see him.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking.
Okay. So
I was looking. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can just repeat the question. Is there any potential to export exclusive sheep and goat cheese to Netherlands from Slovakia?
There's always potential, of course, and we already are, because Eastern Europe is the biggest producer of sheep and goat cheese. So we are already importing a lot. At the same time, we import, but we export more. But generally speaking, yes, there's always potential to export it to Holland. I can produce a list of potential importers in Holland who are already importing these kind of products.
That would be great, and we really appreciate your help.
Yeah.
So we can go to the question number 3. What are the country's biggest supermarket chains and grocery import companies? And you can continue, Jan Peter.
Yes, I made a list of the biggest supermarket chains in Holland, and there's also another quite interesting party. That's a purchase company who supplies the smaller supermarkets and the individual retailers with food. It's called the Super Union. I have that on an Excel sheet. Is that a good idea if I send that to you, Michaela, so that you can redistribute it?
Yeah, that would be great. If you could, we'll send it. I will spread it to the attendees, and they can check it there.
Yeah,
great.
I will do that. I will do that. Yeah.
Okay, so we can switch to the next question. In which sector do you currently see the biggest opportunity in trading between Slovakia and the Netherlands? And I would like to ask as a first Mr. Kisutsky, after Ms. Kasova and Jan Peter, you can continue. So this will be like the really short discussion.
Yeah, thank you. So from my perspective, I clearly see that the opportunity is in developing or creating more investment opportunities. So I actually see opportunities on the investing side. And given that our audience is mostly from Slovakia, and if any participants may be considering investment projects or setting up investment funds that is focused with eventual goal for facilitating more trading or trade exchanges, then I think that may be a good idea. The other area which I can see, again from my perspective, is in better supply chain integration, and something that I frequently observe in trade situations between Slovakia and the Netherlands is that there is a certain intermediation chain which has its meaning at the moment. There is a reason for that, but I think that we can actually improve the trading infrastructure that this intermediates the chain or becomes a little bit more direct. I can see all kinds of dealers, sub-dealers along the chain between Netherlands and Slovakia. And in fact, we have better tools to be closer to the eventual customers or trading partners. So supply chain integration or better vertical integration and investment markets. So that's from my perspective.
Yeah, I would like to follow Vlado. I think more practical kind of answer. I think there is really a lot potential in special parts, like in the car industry, special parts to export to the Netherlands. From this transition, I was speaking shortly, energy transition. There are many companies here producing cars, producing special parts of cars, these fuel cells. There are companies asking via LinkedIn, anyone who can help us with this concerning this new green mobility, please come to us. There are also there is a high demand for ICT people from 3D drawers. So a lot of electric vehicles are now being produced, scooters, special parts, transfitting diesel parts. So in this kind of trends, I would definitely look closer.
Yeah, Peter, if you would like to add
something. Yeah, the biggest export products from Slovakia to Holland is in general electronic equipment. That's almost more than 500 million euros a year. So yeah, that's correct. That area, cars is another sector, but also maybe pharmaceutical products. could be an option. There's also already quite a big export product from Slovakia to Holland.
Okay, thank you. So we can go to the question number 5. In view of the growing popularity of organic products worldwide, how does the Netherlands influence this trend? And I would like to ask to reply Ms. Kasova and Jan Peter also.
Yes, thank you. So I would like to share my view on like two aspects of these organic products. One, the food aspect, and another one like a production aspect, like non-food aspect. So it's very popular trend, organic products. We have in our supermarkets a lot of space they devote to organic products. The food chain is going to be organized in this, from this transition again, from this guide function, like it entitles less meat, more vegetable, less carbohydrates, more nutrition-rich food, so this aspect is really very popular, and the Netherlands is really embracing this challenge. The other kind is another aspect is this like non-food organic production. So in isolation, in also again the parts of the car, of scooters being produced from the vegetable part that is not being used for food, but how can we use the leaves of potatoes, tomatoes, sugar beets to use as a raw material for vegetable plastic kind of. So this is very important something. The government is demanding the organic products. The companies are preparing their policies so that they have these organic products involved, and the entire decarbonization of society is about organic products. It's something else in my view than bio-industry. It is also something, but these organic products, we look at it more general from the different perspectives. So I hope it could help. In isolation materials, we also use it.
Thank you. So Jan Peter, you can...
Yes, especially the last 10 to 15 years, you see that a lot of Dutch farmers are converting into organic food production. So they changed their production methods, and that number is still increasing. Besides that, we have about a national organic food consumption market is about between 1.5 and 2 billion euros a year. We import about 5 billion a year of organic food, but we export for more than 7 billion a year organic food products. So yeah, it's a big market opportunity in Holland, absolutely. And about that number is increasing, that 50% of the population is really into organic food. The other half still has to be convinced. And I saw in the news a couple of days ago that we are talking about meat replacers in Holland, which is becoming very popular, is a wheat burger. It's made of seaweed. And that started a couple of years ago as a startup, very small company, but it has now been taken over by a major food producer. So also there you see that it is gaining popularity.
Good to know. I didn't even know that there is something like the seaweed hamburger, but that could be a nice try. So we would like to continue with the next question. In the context of the green public procurement, the Netherlands have one of the EU's top targets to green up to 100% of contracts. How is the Netherlands doing so? And I would like to ask Mr. Piłsudski to reply.
Yes, Thank you for the question. I'm not an expert in the public procurement, but speaking generally, in my view, as a principle, the idea of green procurement, green investments, or any kind of sustainable or impact activity, what we are observing in the market is that eventually the markets and people are pragmatic. And in financial markets, we're actually observing that investors are not really willing to pay premium or forego investment income just because something is green, but because eventually it provides better risk-adjusted returns. And there are some very, very good fundamental reasons why this is happening, because many times green or more sustainable products, investments, assets are actually offering lower risk, are better managed, have longer term orientation. So overall, the value for money is actually better. But my main point is that I believe the Dutch people are clearly very pragmatic, and the key principle is that green or sustainable activities have to produce value. And I think that as long as we keep that in mind and we prioritize the sustainability and value together, then we can actually figure out better solutions on how to achieve greater sustainability. So this is not a charity. This is not some sort of giving up, financial wealth somewhere. This is about being pragmatic and smart in achieving sustainable goals.
Thank you very much. And we have the last question, number 7. Is it possible to establish cooperation in the field of the best practice in the green public procurement in the framework of relation with the Netherlands? And I would like to ask all of you three, the speakers, to reply. But first, Mr. Krisutsky, you can just continue.
Yes, it is, of course, this is eventually the goal of this meeting, is to figure out what is some practical output, what can we do in the Netherlands. So from my networks or opportunities that we are working on, I would like to point out our Amsterdam Trade Board. Companies from Slovakia can get involved. They can apply for listing. They can become part of the Amsterdam Trade Board, which, as I mentioned, is basically a listing venue that brings the best practices and the real market presence for the companies in the Netherlands. It is actually suitable for those companies that are already well established and are looking for strategic steps forward and their market expansion in Europe. In fact, we specifically designed it for private companies so that they, as an alternative to public listing, so that they have a better, more accessible way to tap into the markets. So that's one area, basically the listing on Amsterdam Trade Board. Other than that, we're also active in the financial markets, and for companies that may seek connections with investors or funds, this is also a good opportunity to get connected. Of course, that is a very difficult balancing act, but at the end of the day, it's about value, opening doors, and creating opportunities. So I will be excited to speak with any smart companies with interesting products, services, and strategies. So I'll look forward to hearing from you.
I think, Vlado, that this is really excellent opportunity, this Amsterdam Trade Board. It's even new for me, so I'm happy I could learn about this webinar. So that's a really excellent opportunity. in addition, I would like to ask you to follow these ecosystems I was presenting you, and I'm sure there is a page, there is a sheet with the websites, and all these ecosystems, they are, once again, it's a corporation of many companies and many governmental institutions, and they gather around a topic, around a challenge, specific. And I'm not sure what kind of companies you are owner of representing at this webinar, but from this content point of view, you could quickly enter such a network. And there are many projects being held, starting, or maybe even in the further stage. And they always also seek for an international cooperation, not only in order to get financing from Europe, these Interreg programs, probably you know them, but also to share the knowledge. So we need the push in this circularity, we need the push in this greening of our society, in these houses. How can we warm houses and buildings with green energy, and which kind of parts in the system, in the chain we need? So that would be my suggestion and invitation. Please look at the presentation and the mentioned website. About that, of course, you are invited to connect me directly.
Yeah, and I can add what I was talking about before. The Enterprise Europe Network, I think, is a very good platform to find international cooperation. So, as a Slovak business, I think you should then contact the Slovak Business Agency to talk about the options to get posted on the network. Besides that, and I can send information about it to Michaela as well, is the business challenge I mentioned. These challenges have different teams. Like the one at the moment is about packaging, ecological packaging opportunity. But those challengers are also looking for international businesses to get involved in that. So that could be another interesting item as well to join if the challenge comes about this subject, that you get involved in there. But I will send Michaela the information about it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, all of you, for your replies, for your presentation.
Michaela, may I say one more note? I'm sorry. I wanted to mention one more thing, what I think is really important. In my view, Slovakia is the proposition of Slovakia, and the good development of Slovakia is not known very much in the Netherlands. It's like a blind spot when we look at the CEE region, and in order to that, it could be interesting to prepare the kind of webinar also with Sario and with NFIA, that's Netherlands Foreign Investment Agency, RWO, like Jan-Peter was already saying, this enterprise network, just to be more aware what Slovakia can offer and the companies of Slovakia. And for individual company, really this proposition, I think Vlado was already mentioning that the storytelling and what can we offer and what is our value when we could cooperate with any other kind of company in the Netherlands. So that from my part is the last something.
I think that this was the really good idea as the closing idea of this webinar. And as I have mentioned before, I will send all of our attendees and registered companies the presentation materials and the contacts for our speakers. And now is just the time to say thank you once again. Regarding the Q&A that they are there without the reply, we will work on them after the webinar, and we will send you the replies via the email. If you have any questions or some more questions, you can send them to us via the email, and we will try to reply you as soon as possible. Thank you very much, all of you. Have a nice day. And with the companies, they have already registered for the consultations. We will start at 1 a.m. and please be on time and click on the link I have sent you via the email. Have a nice day, and thank you once again.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice day.